And welcome back, everybody, to episode 8 of the CS Sports Talk.
Episode ocho.
Episode ocho. I am Lily Maddox, and that's Shawn Campbell. We are missing Aaron today.
You know why?
Why? Oh,
Because his Detroit Lions lost. He couldn't bear to show himself today.
Yeah.
He stayed home.
Yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't even
get
like his
into
Lions.
that.
He doesn't even like his team.
Yeah.
That's just his team because he's from there.
Yeah, but it happens.
Yeah, it does. Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
As
it
a
happens.
Cowboys fan, as a Raiders fan,
Yeah.
we know.
Yeah. It's not always a good day. Okay.
No.
But we do have a question for you guys, and it kind of goes into what we're talking about with the Lions. So we'll go into more detail later, but our question is, what do you guys think about some of the questionable fourth down calls from Dan Campbell of the Lions on yesterday's game?
Yeah.
What do you guys
Yeah.
think? Dan Campbell said in his press conference that he didn't regret any of the calls that he had, so that's his answer to
Us
it.
Campbells never regret anything. No.
But we want to know what you guys think of it. What about you, Shawn? What do you think?
I'm going to stick with him because that's their style of play all year.
Yeah.
And from his perspective, what if he did go just to kick the field goal or whatnot? Would that have put a little doubt into his players' minds?
Yeah.
Switching it up, in a playoff game. I don't think it was I think it was the right move to go for 2.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad call in either situation, but the first situation, the receiver just dropped the ball. I think it was more the player's lack of execution rather than it was the decision to go for the fourth downs.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. I think I agree with you. Like, in any time you go for it on fourth down or go for 2 instead of kicking the extra point, it's like, it's high risk, high reward. So if it would have worked out, it would have done.
Yeah.
But, it's not always going to work out. That's why not everybody goes for it. So I think it was smart. It would have, if it would have worked out, it would have been great.
Right.
And it just happened to not work out. So I feel like a lot of coaches would have made the same decision, and it's just
I think
I don't know.
I don't agree with you there. I don't think a lot of coaches.
I feel like in a playoff, I don't know. I guess where they were in the game, they didn't have to.
I think I think another reason why I support the decision is that I'm always, whether it comes to sports or in business or anything, I always want to play to win as opposed to play not to lose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think too many coaches would have played not to lose in that
played
situation.
It safe.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because it is a playoff game, but it could go either way because it is a playoff game. And so,
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know.
And on the road, especially, you
Yeah.
always want to play for the win as opposed to playing for a tie.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
and it's the Lions. They haven't been in that position
ever.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Hats off to them. I thought they had it after the first half.
I know.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think most of America was rooting for them.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads into our next topic. We're just talking about more about the playoffs because we're done with the playoffs. It's next game was the Super Bowl.
Outside of the Swifties and 49ers fans, I don't think anybody else cares.
Yeah, both of the teams that I wanted to go to the Super Bowl didn't make it. So I'm going to watch the Super Bowl, but I won't be happy about it.
I'm going to, this is something you and I should kind of coordinate is let's keep track of the Super Bowl ads and grade them this year. We'll have some criteria out there.
Okay.
And then we'll name our first annual CS Sports Super Bowl ad winner.
Okay.
The day after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I like that
That'd
idea.
be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
You guys can play with us too.
Yeah.
Keep track of the ads, and then when we make our sports talk after the
Yeah.
Super Bowl, let us
Yeah.
know.
Any early predictions though? I know you're not as neither you and I are not interested in Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
kind of. But do you have any early like?
Well, I know what I want. I don't like the Chiefs. I think all of you guys know that by now. I do not like the Chiefs, and I was not expecting them to make it this far from the season that they had.
Right.
I was just not expecting them to make it this far, and I didn't want them to either.
Yeah.
Because I am a Raiders fan.
As a Raiders fan, I completely respect that you hate the Chiefs because I don't like the 49ers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one of us is going to be happy and one of us is going to be sad the day after.
Yeah.
But I don't think either one of us really have a rooting interest besides for those teams to lose.
I think we don't really care who wins, but we
Yeah.
don't. We have a team we don't want to win.
Right.
So
Right.
it's, yeah. So let us know what you guys think.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I have predictions. Well, the thing is, after the Chiefs won, I was rooting for the Lions. I really wanted the Lions to win, but I didn't have faith that the Lions would beat the Chiefs. And so but I do think the 49ers can beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
and I just didn't want the Chiefs to win. So after the Chiefs won, I wanted the Lions to win, but
Yeah.
I didn't really care who won the Lions and the 49ers game because I just don't want the Chiefs to win now. So.
You know, the Chiefs defense is very underrated.
Yeah.
You know, they held Lamar in check yesterday.
Yeah.
And one of the things that actually beat the Lions, and I never thought I would ever say this, but it was Brock Purdy's legs.
Yeah.
You know, the guy ran, I don't know what the official stat was, but it had to be at least 50 or 60 yards, mostly there in the second half. And I'm like, I could run the guy down. The guy's not.
Yeah, he's not the quickest guy.
So if they can implement a little bit of what they did to limit Lamar to near nothing, on the ground.
Which that is what Lamar is known for a lot, is his running. And so.
Yeah, I may or may not have lost a bet on FanDuel about Lamar running over. I took the over in 65.5 yards. And I'm like, run, just run the ball.
Any other game that I feel like that would have been a pretty safe bet. Yeah. But yeah.
I was totally wrong. I thought the Ravens were going to win by double digits.
Yeah.
And
besides what a lot of people are saying about the refs, like a lot of people are saying the refs kind of handed the game to the Chiefs, but I agree more that the Ravens kind of beat themselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. A lot of the calls weren't questionable calls. They were just making mistakes. And that drive where Zay Flowers got the taunting call and then he fumbled right like the half-yard line. Like you just can't do that.
Yeah.
And so I think they beat themselves, which is sad because I don't think anybody except for the Swifties was rooting for the Chiefs in that game. So it was... Yeah,
I wasn't too happy with Zay after that.
No,
and it's just, I don't know. Some people are going to say, well, he's a rookie, not this far deep into the season. You're not a rookie after the 10th or 11th week. You're a pro.
Especially with the season that he's had. Like, rookie or not, like he's had a phenomenal season. And you just can't make those kinds of mistakes. And he will definitely learn from it. I bet he won't do stuff like that again. But as soon as I saw him like push him to the ground, get up, I was like, be careful.
Yeah. And I was very underwhelmed by the lack of creativity from the play calling. Yeah. The Chiefs were just blitz after blitz after blitz, man-to-man defense.
They're good at that. Like, they switch it up, but...
And Baltimore had no answer for it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, I definitely think the Ravens beat themselves more than
they were outcoached.
Anything.
Definitely outcoached.
The turnovers cost them too. So that was a disappointing game for me. But I don't know. We'll see how the Chiefs and the 49ers do. I purposely did not wear red today because not rooting for any of them.
So another question: Who are you guys going for?
Yeah.
Chiefs or 49ers, and look forward to see the results from that one as well.
What do you think the score is going to be?
37-26 Chiefs.
Chiefs?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, the worst part about it is we got 2 more weeks of Taylor.
I was seeing videos that people are like, the Chiefs are going to beat the Ravens because the NFL is rigging it so Taylor Swift can be at the Super Bowl. And I believe it because
2 more weeks of Tay-Tay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
everybody's going to be seeing red on Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of red.
Yeah.
And the Taylor Swift song Red too.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're only got one more game left of the NFL season, which is sad, but yeah.
Super Bowl ads. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yes.
Super
If
Bowl
we
ads.
can't look forward to the game, then we will look forward to the Super Bowl ads.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let us know what you guys think of the play calling by Dan Campbell when it came to the questionable 4th down calls and your guys' Super Bowl predictions, which is exciting.
Who you going for?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, very exciting. So we're going to shift gears into something we don't really talk about that often because I'm not very well versed in it, but Shawn said he could talk about this for a little bit. So
Yeah, but
we'll see what he can
I
do.
definitely want your input on this
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you're an athlete, right? And, you know, you've participated in both team and individual sports.
Yep.
So, especially when it comes to, you know, team sports, there's a thing called defense.
Yes.
And
So
one thing about the NBA, you know, lately they've had a ton of players, you know, scoring in the 70s. Not a ton, but, you know, scoring more than 50 in a game should not be common.
yeah, and there's been there's not a ton, but multiple people who have been scoring like 60s, 70s. I remember we were talking about it last week when we were trying to figure out what we were going to talk about. And I was reading this because obviously I don't keep up with basketball too much, but I was reading it. That's crazy. That's a lot of points.
Yeah, more and more. And it seems like it gets worse and worse every year, but there's no defense played in the NBA.
Yeah.
You know, I was watching while I was in Scottsdale, I was watching this triple overtime game between Golden State and the Lakers. And it was just, if anybody would have played any defense leading up to in regulation and in the first 2 overtimes, it would have never reached this. But it's just unreal. And I know a lot of the rules in basketball and in the NBA in particular allow for the high scoring, and you know they're very hard on fouls and you know the way that defense can play, and you know there's such thing as an illegal defense in our era. And in aging myself, I missed the days where defense was a big part of the game.
Yeah, I feel like every basketball game I've ever watched, like you don't really look for defense at all because it's just not really there. It's super high scoring games, which is different compared to most other sports. And it's,
there is
defense
no
is limited.
defense played at all the first 3 quarters. No, in the 4th quarter, it seems like there's some that are played a little bit. But in the first 3 quarters of any NBA game, it's like an all-star game. It's just up and down. There's not a lot going on. And it's just, to me, that just, it just takes away from some of the athletic part of basketball.
Yeah.
You know, I like watching great defense. I like watching physical play. I like watching, you know, another thing that's come out about it is great. I'll never say that LeBron's not a phenomenal, one of the greatest top 3 to top 4 players of all time. But it's sad when he pretends to get hit and he flops and he cries and
it's turning into soccer.
Yeah. And quite honestly, that's the reason why a lot of the kids boo his son at these games, because his son plays just the same way.
Yeah.
You know, he yells at the refs, and you know, especially in college, you know, you can't do that. But I'm getting off tangent a little bit, but it's like I miss the days of great defense.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Every basketball game that I've ever watched, like the flopping is crazy.
It's horrible.
It just takes away from what a physical game it used to be.
Yeah.
And Yeah. But I think that's happening a lot in sports. It's just like people are so soft now. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but it's like,
and I'm going to pick on the Lakers. I'm going to continue to pick on LeBron, but you look at himself and Anthony Davis, who's 7'2", 7'3",
yeah,
270, 280 pounds.
like you can take it.
Probably like 5% body fat on this dude. He has more fat in his unibrow than he does the rest of the body, right? But I've never seen anybody so soft in professional sports.
Yeah, like you can take it. It's okay.
Yes.
Like you can take a little hit.
Yes.
You're playing a professional sport.
Yeah.
Like you kind of sign up for that stuff. You don't sign up to be babied and yeah.
You know,
I agree. It's kind of ridiculous when it comes to that stuff in a lot of sports, which is why I respect football a lot because it's only getting more aggressive. But basketball, soccer, like it's always I don't know, it's just becoming like I don't know, more of like what you can get away with than actually playing your
more
game.
what you could fool the refs on.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't, college basketball is a lot more fun. It has been a lot more fun for me to watch for years.
Yeah.
But especially now it's bad.
A lot of professional sports are becoming more like a business than a sport.
Entertainment.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and sports at any kind of level is entertainment.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like that one aspect of defense in the NBA, to me that's entertaining.
Yeah.
When you have, two great athletes going at it, and a little bit has to do with effort. A lot of it has to do with effort.
Yeah.
But, the rules are really highly against those guys that are great defensive players.
Yeah.
So it works against them anyway.
Yeah. You hear people talking about the great shooters more than you ever hear about great defensive players. But anyway, let us know what you guys think about that.
Yeah.
Because
I miss the days of the 87 to 62,
Yeah.
It sounds boring, but.
Yeah, but turnovers make things exciting. So
turnovers, block shots. Not that I was any kind of a great basketball player, but the block shot was so awesome.
Yeah. So let us know what you guys think about that one, the NBA and the deep or lack of defense.
Lack of defense.
Yeah.
So
moving on, another thing I can't really talk too much about, but Shawn could talk about this for forever. We are moving in to the MLB. So spring training is starting soon.
This is like my favorite time of the year because usually the Superbowl.
Yeah.
And then spring training starting. We're getting into March Madness with college basketball.
Yeah.
It's the best time of the year.
Yeah. Very exciting.
Yeah.
When it comes to sports. So
like I mentioned, I was in Scottsdale this weekend and for the Barrett-Jackson auto auction, which was awesome, which isn't an event itself, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of the buzz around town was for next week's, they have a big waste management golf tournament, which is huge because it's more of a party than it is a golf course, than a golf tournament. And that's probably the main reason I will never go because I've seen highlights or lowlights, and I just. But that is a lot of the buzz around town, and then with spring training about to start.
Yeah.
So half of the teams, a little more than half the teams are here in Arizona in the Phoenix area for spring training. Then a little bit less are in Florida. So so there's be a lot of baseball fans from all over the country spending their money here in Arizona for about a month and a half.
Wow!
During spring training, and you get to see not only all of your favorite major league players, but the guys that are probably in AAA and maybe the high AA class guys trying to make the big league roster.
Wow!
So, and a lot of the teams, once they get really into the spring training schedule, are not only playing a game every day, but they're playing 2 games across the Phoenix area, across the valley. It's a split squad game.
Yeah.
So if you're a fan of the teams that are scheduled to play in Arizona, there's usually a game or 2 just about every day for 3 or 4 weeks.
Wow.
that you can go there and catch. And I love catching spring training games because you'll see one or two all-stars, the big names on your teams, but you see a lot of the young guys play that you typically won't see too much of.
Yeah.
So it's always kind of cool.
Yeah.
So last year I was up there. What was I up there for? I took a day trip up there for something related to business. This was before I really got into CS. And the main reason why I told that client I'd go up there was so I could catch an Angels game on the way back. So I was in the third row, and this Shohei was with the team, Mike Trout, and got to see it. They were playing the Rockies, which only had like maybe Chris Bryant, but it was cool. The true baseball fans, cheap hot dogs, So and it's not expensive to go. As it would be a regular season game.
Yeah.
A lot of fun, though. A lot of true baseball
Does that
fans.
help you with your fantasy baseball? Shawn does fantasy baseball, which I think is for crazy people because I can barely keep up with my fantasy football. But
if you're a baseball nerd, I got on my team, I have 7 of the top 24 prospects that I traded for. And because my team midway through the season, it was about a 500, and I knew I was not going to make the playoffs. So I started trading away my best players and draft picks for all the young guys coming through this year.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to dominate. I'm going to dominate you guys. Those guys I play
We'll keep you guys updated.
I'm going to send them all a link to this.
Yeah. So I think fantasy baseball is crazy. But does that help you when you're looking and you get to see some of the younger people?
I love that you ask that because, that's I'm going to go up there and watch teams that have some of my prospects on there or some guys coming up for next year.
Yeah.
Just to kind of check them out. See
see
how
they're doing.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's good. That's kind of, that's different compared to other sports. You can't, there's like preseason for other sports, but being able, I guess maybe because we live in Arizona, but being so close to all these big names or up and coming big names and being able to go watch them.
Before your time, when spring training was here in Tucson, Lily.
Wow.
You'd run into ball players at the ballpark. I mean, at the mall and
That's
the
crazy.
movies and,
Wow.
maybe for an adult beverage, from what I hear. And I wasn't one of those guys. You could run into them at, local watering holes all the time.
Wow.
All the time. It was kind of cool.
Yeah,
it was
that
kinda
is cool.
And standing next to them, you're reminded why you are not, as in myself, a professional athlete.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would
There's
think.
not a lot of people, like regular dudes, that I think are, that kind of make me feel small.
Yeah.
A couple of guys that I know, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not that huge, but being 6'1", I'm confident, right?
Yeah.
Not next to a pro athlete.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. When I was in Florida for nationals, where there was all the Pro Bowl people were there, and we went to Disney World too, and there was a ton of them there, and you could just tell, like,
right
from far away, if somebody famous was there, because we were keeping an eye out because we knew all these Pro Bowlers were here, and just like in line for a ride, I'm like, I know, even though I don't know who you are, I know you are a football player, and so I would ask them for a picture, and they're like, yeah. I was like, I knew it. You could just tell by how they look because they're different.
did the same thing this weekend at Barrett Jackson.
Wow.
When I was leaving, we're going through the auction area, and late Saturday, there's probably like 12 to 15,000 people in this auction area, and I'm going through the crowd, and there's a section there, and you could tell these were all football players.
Wow.
Big, huge, strong, confident
you
dudes.
could just tell, especially with football.
And I'm like regular
that's
guys,
an athlete.
and they're all kind of hanging out with each other, right? And it was funny. Before that, I know there were some entertainers that I'm like, I know who this guy is. I just can't. It's going to hit me one of these days.
Yeah.
Right? Walking through past them, we're as far as like how you and I are, but especially by the athletes, you could tell when you're walking by professional athletes.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know who they were. I think there were some, maybe some Arizona Cardinals or some guys in, in the off season hanging out. But or they're bidding on some cars, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can definitely tell.
Yeah. 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 I always think how many famous people I walk by and I just don't even know they're famous.
Yeah.
But like athletes, you can tell for sure.
Yeah. Definitely at Barrett Jackson. Probably, you know, when you think about these cars at that time, we're probably going for about $150,000 to $200,000 each. And there's 2,000 vehicles there being auctioned off, right?
Wow.
So it's like walking through that auction area, I always think it's like if you combined the resources of all these people in here, how many billions of dollars am I in the middle of right now?
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
And am I the poorest guy amongst the 15,000? Probably.
Maybe. Yeah. That's crazy. Anyway, we're getting a little off topic here, but it's good conversation.
But we're always entertaining.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we do want to give a shout out to your grandparents again for listening.
Oh yeah.
And most of our listeners are your family. So
my whole family tunes into this podcast. So let us know if you're our fans and you're not my family, so we can shout you guys out too.
Does your family have a lot of baseball fans? Are they like
just
Brewers
my
fans
just
or
my
something?
stepdad? Yeah. Matt's a Yankees fan.
Okay.
My dad's a Braves fan.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
Yeah. But just them. But I'm gonna get into it now, so I can talk about it.
So we got it. Okay.
Yeah, that's my challenge
for the next 2 or 3 episodes. Who's going to be your team? Are you going to let the audience pick it out for you?
Oh, the audience gets to choose it?
Yes, the most votes.
Okay. But you don't get to vote because you're going to say the Dodgers.
How about we narrow it down to the Braves and Yankees?
Okay.
And then pick 3 more.
Okay.
Braves,
I'll have
Yankees.
to do some research. You can put the Dodgers in there. That's fine.
No, I wouldn't want to do that to you.
Okay. Okay.
Braves, Dodgers, the Brewers have to be in there from your family in Wisconsin. And then 2 more. So in the comments, put down who you want to nominate for Lily's baseball team.
Yeah.
And then when you get
I'll follow them for the whole season.
And you're going to have to wear a ball cap or a jersey.
Are you going to get me one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Whoever wins.
Okay.
That's going to be your team.
Okay. I'll make a clip of this one so people who don't watch this whole thing can still help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nominate Lily's favorite baseball team.
Yep. And I will follow them for the whole season.
Yep.
And I will talk about it.
Yep.
I'm going to learn baseball. I'm going to do it. Okay.
You'll love it. You'll be a baseball nerd by the end of the year.
Okay. I will. Okay. So we got lots of questions for you guys in this
I know.
one.
Almost too many questions.
Yeah. I wish we had a call-in so we could just do this live and people could just answer our questions.
Do that.
We should do that
in
one time.
a month or so.
Let's plan it. Yeah.
Or do a remote.
Yeah. Where people can just call in
or come
and
by.
Argue with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A remote live.
We're going to schedule that too.
Yeah.
We've got some things to do. So we're going to get to work.
We do it at the Sands
You guys.
Club. Let's do it at the Sands Club.
Okay.
All
okay.
Right.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you guys next Monday.
Yeah.